Welcome to Relationship Pathway, your space for honest, heartfelt conversations about love, growth, and showing up with intention. If you're here, it's because you care about becoming better, not just in love, but as a person. In this video, we'll uncover 6 powerful habits that can instantly make you a better partner. Whether you're in a long-term relationship or just starting out, these habits will help you build something real, something lasting, something meaningful. We'll talk about emotional intelligence, communication, love languages, and how small shifts can create massive connection. So if you're ready to show up with love, with intention, and with empathy, then stick around, because becoming a better partner starts with just one step, and that step starts right now. Before you can truly connect with someone else, you have to understand who you are. Self-awareness is the quiet superpower that strengthens every relationship. It's about recognizing your thoughts, your emotional patterns, your triggers, and your values. Because how can you love someone fully if you're not even aware of what's going on inside your own heart? We often enter relationships carrying invisible baggage, old wounds, childhood beliefs, past experiences that shape how we react and respond. Sometimes we project our fears onto our partner or expect them to fulfill needs we haven't even voiced. Self-awareness allows you to slow down and see what's really happening beneath the surface. It helps you realize when you're being reactive, when you're clinging too tightly, or when you're shutting down to protect yourself. It's not about blaming yourself or becoming overly critical. It's about learning to observe your emotions without judgment, asking questions like, why did that bother me so much? Or am I upset because of what they did or because of something I haven't healed yet? When you become more in tune with your internal world, you gain the ability to communicate more clearly and love more consciously. A self-aware partner doesn't need to be perfect, but they take ownership of their energy. They apologize without ego. They recognize when they're projecting, and they're not afraid to ask for space or offer grace. They understand that every reaction is a mirror, showing them where growth is needed. The truth is, relationships don't fall apart because of conflict. They fall apart because of unconscious patterns we never take the time to notice or heal. But when you lead with awareness, you stop operating on autopilot. You pause, you reflect, and you choose how you want to show up. So if you want to be a better partner, start by looking within, not to criticize, but to understand. Because when you know yourself deeply, you make it easier for someone else to love you fully. And when both partners are self-aware, the relationship becomes a space of safety, honesty, and growth. One of the greatest gifts you can give your partner is your full attention. In a world full of distractions, real listening has become rare. But active listening, the kind where you're truly present, is what builds emotional safety in any relationship. Most of us listen to reply, not to understand. We're already forming our next sentence or defending ourselves in our mind before the other person has even finished speaking. But when you listen actively, something shifts. Your partner begins to feel seen, heard, and valued, and that feeling is what keeps people close. Active listening means putting down your phone, making eye contact, and holding space. It means reflecting back what they said with calm curiosity. So what I'm hearing is, or that must have made you feel. It's not about fixing the problem right away or rushing to your own point. It's about creating a safe space for someone's truth to exist without being dismissed. When your partner speaks and you truly listen, you build trust. And trust is the quiet backbone of love. You show them that their voice matters, that their emotions are valid, even if you don't fully agree with them. That kind of emotional presence says, you don't have to be perfect to be loved here. Of course, it's not always easy, especially in moments of tension or when emotions run high, but that's when it matters most. Active listening helps de-escalate conflict. It turns defensiveness into dialogue and turns assumptions into clarity. Sometimes your partner just needs to vent, to cry, to be human without being fixed. When you listen without judgment, you become a place of calm in their storm, and that calm becomes connection. So if you want to become a better partner, start by listening more, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Let them know they're safe with you, even in their messy moments. Because real intimacy isn't built through perfect words. It's built through presence, through patience, and through listening that says, I'm here and I care. Every relationship will face moments of tension, moments when emotions run high and something small suddenly feels enormous. In those moments, it's easy to react on impulse, to raise your voice, shut down, lash out, or say something you can't take back. But becoming a better partner means learning to regulate, not react. Emotional regulation isn't about pretending everything's okay or suppressing what you feel. It's about responding rather than exploding. It's about choosing calm when your instincts are screaming chaos, because love isn't tested when everything is going well. It's tested in the hard moments, the misunderstandings, the silence, the storm. When you regulate your emotions, you press pause, you take a breath before speaking. You ask yourself, is what I'm about to say helpful or hurtful? You give your nervous system a moment to settle before bringing your energy into the space you share with someone else. Your partner isn't your enemy, even when it feels like you're on opposite sides. The real challenge is not the issue itself, but how you show up in the face of it. And the truth is, regulated people create safe relationships. They don't use emotions as weapons. They don't shut down or stonewall. They stay present even when it's hard. No one gets it right all the time, and you're not expected to be perfect. But regulating your reactions is a sign of emotional maturity. It shows you're willing to take responsibility for your energy, that you're not placing your entire emotional weight on your partner's shoulders. Sometimes, walking away to cool down is wiser than staying and saying something out of anger. Sometimes, silence can be a sacred pause instead of a punishment. The key is awareness. Knowing your limits and knowing how to care for yourself before you cause harm. Love isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about navigating it with care. When you regulate your emotions, you create a safe container where healing can happen, where connection isn't broken every time there's a disagreement. So the next time tension rises, take a deep breath, step back, reflect, then return with intention, because real strength is staying soft in moments that try to harden you. Love is often felt, not just through words, but through action, through presence, through the quiet things we do that whisper, I see you, I care about you, I love you. But not everyone receives love in the same way. That's why understanding your partner's love language is so important. Maybe your way of showing love is giving gifts, but your partner feels love through physical touch. Or maybe you clean the house as an act of service while they're longing for words of affirmation. When two people speak different love languages, it's like trying to connect through a fog. You both care, but the message isn't landing. Learning your partner's love language is a choice to love them on their terms, not just yours. It's saying, I want to show up for you in the way that feels most real to you. Whether it's quality time, words, acts, touch, or gifts, making an effort to express love in that language becomes a powerful bridge. And it's not about grand gestures. It's the small, daily things. A warm hug before they leave for work, A handwritten note just because, making them a cup of tea when they're tired, saying, "I'm proud of you," when they least expect it. These moments don't take much time, but they leave deep emotional imprints. What makes this practice so special is the intention behind it. You're not just going through the motions, you're saying, "I've taken the time to understand you, and I care enough to meet you where you are." That's what makes love feel safe and specific. Sometimes love gets lost not because it's gone, but because it's being spoken in a language the other doesn't understand. But when you take the time to learn each other's emotional dialect, connection flows more naturally, walls begin to soften, and small acts begin to feel like deep love. So if you want to be a better partner, don't just ask, "Do I love them?" Ask, "Do they feel loved by me?" Then listen and speak love in a way that resonates with their heart, because when love is spoken fluently, it feels like home. Conflict in a relationship doesn't mean something is broken. It doesn't mean you're not compatible or that love is fading. In fact, healthy conflict can be a powerful doorway to deeper connection, to growth, to understanding each other beyond the surface. Most people fear conflict because it feels uncomfortable. It brings up old wounds, triggers defense mechanisms, and pushes us into fight, flight, or freeze. But what if we began to see conflict not as a threat, but as a mirror that reflects what needs to be healed, understood, or rebalanced between two people trying their best? When handled with care, conflict becomes a sacred space, a place where truths can be revealed and pain can be met with compassion. It's in those heated conversations, when you're both vulnerable, both exposed, that the opportunity for real intimacy shows up. Because growth rarely happens in comfort. It happens in those moments when you pause, breathe, and choose connection over ego. Being a better partner doesn't mean avoiding every disagreement. It means showing up with respect even when you're hurt. It means listening even when you're angry, and being willing to work through the discomfort, not walk away from it. It's saying, we may not see eye to eye right now, but we're on the same team. Instead of attacking each other, attack the problem together. Replace blame with curiosity. Ask questions instead of making accusations. Can you help me understand what you were feeling? What did you need from me in that moment? These questions don't just diffuse tension, they build trust. Conflict can also highlight the areas where boundaries need to be respected, where communication needs to be more clear, or where emotional needs have gone unspoken for too long. It gives you the chance to realign, to reset, to reaffirm that your relationship is worth working on. So don't run from conflict. Lean into it with softness, with presence, and with the belief that love is strong enough to hold space for both of your truths. Because when two people can navigate disagreement with grace, they don't just survive the hard moments, they grow from them. In the rush of daily life, we often chase the big moments. Anniversaries, vacations, grand romantic gestures, and while those have their place, the truth is, relationships are built in the ordinary, in the quiet spaces between the noise, in the uncelebrated hours when no one is watching. It's the morning coffee made without being asked, the kiss on the forehead before leaving for work, the way you both laugh at something only you two would understand. These moments, simple as they seem, are the heartbeat of real love. They say, I'm here, I'm choosing you, even in the everyday. We live in a culture that glorifies intensity, but the strength of a relationship isn't found in how loud your love is. It's found in how consistent it is. Being a better partner means noticing those everyday opportunities to show love, to say thank you, to check in, to be kind when it's not expected, or patient when it's not easy. And the beautiful part is, when you start paying attention to the little things, you realize just how sacred they are. Folding laundry together becomes connection. A walk around the block becomes quality time. Even silence becomes comfort when you feel emotionally safe with each other. Sometimes we miss the magic because we're waiting for fireworks, but love, the real kind, feels more like a soft, steady flame than a spark. It's not loud, it's not always dramatic, but it's there, showing up again and again. So if you want to be a better partner, slow down and start appreciating what's already there. Celebrate the way your partner holds your hand, the way they smile when you walk into the room, the way you both find peace in doing absolutely nothing. Let go of the need for perfection and embrace the beauty in the imperfect, ordinary, wonderfully human moments. Because in the end, it's not the highlight reel that holds your relationship together. It's the quiet, unnoticed scenes, the moments no one claps for, the love you show when no one's watching. Relationships can be beautiful, but they're not always easy. They challenge us, stretch us, and sometimes break us. But what if you could become the kind of partner you've always wanted to be with? Not perfect, but present. Not flawless, but growing.